You know as well as I do, photography gear is expensive. So can I turn this and a few of these into a studio light? Let's find out. I need more light for my videos. I've got this nasty overhead light, I've got that light, and I'm stringing some other lights around that are basically not doing the job. So I've seen some guys that are on the YouTube that have made these cake pan lights. So what they do, they take a cake pan like this is 12-inch diameter by about 2 inches deep. Or is that what that says? 3 inches deep, excuse me. And then they bought these, this tape type of LED light. Have you seen these? These are so cool. This particular one does all sorts of different colors, if you can see that. I'll give you a close-up in a bit. And excuse me, I've already started trying to open this thing. It looks a little ratty. But anyway, the tape has a sticky side, and so what you do is you start wrapping this tape around the edge here and just keep going down, 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 making a bunch of concentric circles until finally you've gotten either everything used up or you've put as much in there as you can. Then when you turn it on, all that light reflects into the center here, reflects off the bottom, and radiates back out, and it looks, everything I've seen in the videos, it looks quite bright. And then you just put some sort of diffuser over it to make it less harsh. And since I bought this one that has a sort of almost looks like an iPhone control, but it's not a phone, it's basically a remote, so it's able to change colors to the red, green, blue, etc., as well as white. So we'll see how this works. Hope it goes well. Let's see if we can get this open. I've started it, and you know, it's one of these things where they try to make it Fort Knox to get into. But as you can see, this is a roll of tape, sort of light tape, that each one of these little pieces is an LED light. And what's amazing, you can see right here, there's lines every so often. You can actually cut along those lines and this thing will still work. And then they give you little connectors that you can connect. You cut one and then you want to start another one over a few feet away. You get these little connectors, it's not feet, but a few inches. And so it works pretty cool. All right, save this. And let's see. Don't need that. And this is the little controller I was mentioning earlier. I have no idea how it works. I assume you push the color that you want. We'll find out. And then here's all the various parts and pieces. So there's the connector strips, there's the power source. I guess this is the radio control receiver for receiving the signals from the remote. So let's just get started here. A little bit of planning is in order. So this has got to be, oh, you know, it should, well, I'm thinking that I might want to drill a hole in this thing so I can get this through that. Do I want to go to that much trouble? Oh, it would be nice. You know what? I think I will. That way I won't have this wire having to cross the lip just to get the power to the lights themselves. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. Be right back. All right, so as you can see, I have now cut an oblong oval shaped hole here, put some tape over it on both sides just to protect the edge a bit of the wire as it pokes through. And now I'm just going to push this through here. There we go. I want it to be about like that. And now, the tricky part, so to speak, as you can see, there is this backing that we can just pull off and begin the process of sticking this to the edges. And it keeps wanting to go up the sides instead of parallel. That's all right. There we go. I bought 12 feet of this, if I remember correctly. That used up every bit of this. Is that not amazing? Alright, so let's make sure all of this is stuck down really well. It's going to be a bit of a problem. Perfect. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, this is the end result. I have it all plugged in. You can see, oh, I'll have to show it to you in a second, but it has a little wireless receiver on the cord itself, and that's going to receive the signal from this control. Now all of these buttons are pretty much just pick a color, whatever color you want, and it does the job. Then you have some additional controls down at the bottom. The white row at the there's two white rows there at the bottom. And those are different modes that this thing can do. It jumps from color to color, fades from one color to the next, that type of thing. I don't know that I will need that, but it might be something fun to play with. So now I will let you see what it looks like. White is what we'll start off with. And it starts with red for some reason. And then there's the white. Make sure that you can adjust the brightness to some degree, and that should be 100%. I don't know how this is going to work when I point it at the camera, but it might blow out everything on the screen. I'll have to see later. But as you can see, I hope you can see at least, that the center needs a bit of enhancement. So I do think I will be putting some aluminum foil in the center here. Unfortunately, I've been told that we are out of aluminum foil at the moment, so we'll have to wait. After reviewing the videos of what I shot earlier when I did the first demo, I found that this really came out much brighter than it should have, because the camera was stopped down for normal lighting. So as soon as I turned this on, it just blasted the sensor and it made this whole thing look like it was just filled with white light. And that's really not the case. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop the camera down so that you can see really a more accurate representation of the light this is currently putting out. So let me do that. All right, so I'm going to start turning down. Oh, excuse me. I've got to turn the thing on, the light. There we go. Now that's not full intensity. That's just a slightly less intensity than it normally would. So let me stop this down and get it to where it looks more realistic to what I'm seeing with my naked eye. And that is really about what it looks like if you're looking at it in real life and not through the camera lens. So as you can see, what I need to do, I need to get a translucent cover for this. I'm probably going to take some silver spray paint and spray the background here so it will be more reflective. Cover this with a translucent piece that I cut out of a shower curtain, a white shower curtain, and attach it around the edges so it stays on. And yeah, it really will probably look pretty dang good. In the continuing saga of trying to make this light into something useful, I have since sprayed the center with a sort of chrome silver type of paint. And I must say the results were not what the cap on the spray can made it out to be. They show a nice chrome finish, and that's anything but chrome. So it's, if you look at that and you look at that, it's sort of like almost the same. It's probably slightly more reflective, but not enough to count. So what I'm going to do now is, since first starting this little project, I have bought some aluminum foil. So I'm going to cut out a round sheet, glue it in place, and that should be highly reflective. So I'll do that. In the meantime, I have purchased some zip ties, and those will be used to go around the edge to make sure that this shower curtain liner is held in place. So this costs like $4, and I'm going to cut out a piece of it. I might even double it, and then just fold it down around the edges and use the zip tie to actually cinch it up tight, which should, using this lip to work against, that should make a nice, solid, secure way to hold the shower curtain liner in place. Thus, as you can tell, this is a diffuse type of liner, so it should do a good job of diffusing the light. Instead of being a point source, as this tends to be, it should be more consistent. Think of the previous videos when I first turned this thing on. Holding this up to the camera made it just look like it was just one sheet of light. But that was just because the camera wasn't stopped down for it. And as you saw when I stopped it down, then the real way this thing looks became apparent. You have this nice outline of bright light coming from the edges, and then you have a bit of a hole here where not too much light's coming out. Hopefully this will solve the problem. So I will do that. I won't bore you with the techniques because I'm sure you can figure out how to do that. And when I come back, we'll see how this looks. Finally, here's the finished product. It looks a little bit rinky-dink, RD, but I think it's going to accomplish the purpose. I put some blue painter's tape around the sides just to hide the irregular shape of the edge from the fabric, so it doesn't look quite so bad. The zip ties around the edge here seem to be doing their job of holding everything together. And so now the real test. I'm going to prop this up in the seat, turn it on so that you can see the finished product, and then I'm going to step over to the camera and stop it down so that it appears as it really does to the naked eye. So you can be the judge of how successful this was. Here we go. All right, so there I have it propped up, and let's turn it on and see what you think. There is the first level of brightness and the second, and I believe that should be full intensity. Yes, that is. So now what I will do is stop this down a little bit so that you can see a more realistic appearance. That is really about correct, maybe even like that. Yes, really about like that. That's what I am seeing to the naked eye. So the translucent film that I put over it, as well as the aluminum foil in the middle of the pan on the interior, is helping make that much more of a consistent overall light all the way across the surface. Yes, it does have some hot spots around the edges, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. So this might just be quite usable. In a minute, I will prop this up so that it is out of the picture but lighting me up, and we'll just see what a difference it makes. It's a little dark, don't you think? Well, the reason is because I have all the lights turned out except for a small desk lamp right here on my right. The reason I've done this is so that I can demonstrate how effective our new do-it-yourself studio light is going to work. The windows in the room are not casting any light because it's nighttime, therefore I can control the lighting as I see fit. So without further ado, let's just see what the light looks like. That is the first setting of intensity. And if we put it on full intensity, there we go. I would say that for making it ourselves, not too bad. Now you might actually say, well, it's a bit harsh, and I would agree. So what we can do, we can take a filter like this. You've seen these before. They collapse up into a nice small package and they're translucent. So if we were to take this, mount it on a separate tripod and clamp it in place, then we could put it up in front of our light and voila, we have a nice soft light being cast upon my face. Harsh light, soft light. Harsh light, soft light. I could do this all day. This is so fun. Anyway, for a light that costs under $100, I would say this has been a reasonable success. Don't get me wrong, this is not going to replace studio lighting that costs several $100s, but for what we put into it and for the simplicity of it and how easy it is to construct, I would say this is worth the time and the money. What do you think? Please like and subscribe, and we'll take on some more of these projects in the future. See you next time.